Hi guys, this is actually the second run through or recording of this video. Originally, I had shown off the new team that I found or that I've gotten courtesy of the REVO guild, including a new kind of main DPS that is kind of doing a lot, or maybe not main DPS, but sub DPS that is complementing the total damage output and kind of making waves. But let's just get into it. First and foremost, as you can see here, the team, courtesy again of the Revo Guild, includes Cassidy now as opposed to someone like Marley, and includes a lot of the old faces that you'd expect from a Snow Stomper team. Typically with Snow Stomper, you want to have offensive characters that do a lot of damage, and even for your supports, it doesn't really make that much sense for you to have a true traditional healer, not only because they are silenced, but also because, of course, you want to do as much damage as possible while you're being silenced and don't have access to your skills. Now, the big thing here and the big change here is that as opposed to Marley, who does a lot of damage, starts hitting, and has the true damage, you actually place the Cassidy here in the front so that not only does Odie not get hit, Cassidy can be hit out by characters that are basically in the front here, and Corrin is here because not only does he provide support and buffs to the team, but he also does a pretty fast, quick hit as well to try and knock out your allies from being frozen. Now, of course, this challenge is during the season, so although 1 billion damage is pretty cool, or close to 1 billion damage is pretty cool, this number will go up, and I think that the team comp can only get better from here. You'll also notice that the spell that was used here was Crescent, and kind of just to break down why the team works so well, you have Odie for really high damage. You have the Cassidy here that buffs up the team and also does damage as well. If you aren't familiar as well, the magic damage that Odie does here is accentuated specifically because you have the Cassidy here. And although in some cases you could argue that having true damage with the Marley could compare to or, you know, compete with the Cassidy here, if we actually take a moment here to take a look at what the Cassidy does, here we have her, and the reason why I am actually not able to run the same composition is because if you look at what Cassie does with her Mythic Plus, it increases the effect of... Yeah, it empowers the attacks of your allies, and while this by itself may have been somewhat usable in the pre-seasonal content, if you read here with the seasonal buff to her, now she increases the energy recovery that she gains at the start of battle until the first ultimate is casted. And this is, of course, really good because you want to get out more ultimates so that you can, of course, empower... excuse me, sorry, there's something in my eye. You can empower the attacks of your Odie. Now, to be clear, again, for me personally, I wasn't able to do this, even with having a mythic Marley, or sorry, apologies, a Cassidy. So what I ended up doing, I don't know why I keep moving around, was that I was actually only able to run a team composition that involved Marley instead in Floribel because my Cassidy isn't quite to the same level. Furthermore, I just want to make note that unlike the Corrin that you just saw in the video, my Corrin isn't high enough level either, so it feels a little bit bad, but I am going to show you a few variations, and also why I wasn't able to actually use the Crescent spell here. Personally, and this was in the last recording that I did, when I tried to showcase a Crescent run, my Odie or my Marley, whichever one of them was unlucky enough to get or do enough damage, would basically get one shot, and that's not very good. So in other words, what you're forced to do in a sense is to give yourself a bit of the light heal spell. I've also found actually that if I were to use the Crescent spell, or in some cases using the Crescent spell, was kind of just a run down the clock thing, and in some cases, even though I did get some healing, it doesn't obviously stop you from getting one shot by the snow or the snow freezing mechanic. So I think either of these two work out fine. Of course, you do need to do a bit of testing on your own to see which works for you. I'm going to try the Crescent spell just to see how much damage I do, but not having the Cassidy and not having the Corrin is kind of a big L for me, which is unfortunate, but I am going to try this with 3 DPS composition, or with a 3 DPS composition, involving a lot of auto attackers, and me, or at least for me personally, I think that should be enough. I do have Thorn to increase my damage dealt. I do also have Rainer to put one of my DPSs in the front and pray that I am able to have Thorn and the other ranged characters kind of, I guess, free or unfreeze the characters. Let's take a look at it, though. This is my run involving Crescent, and basically is a it's basically like a I want to do as much damage before I get blown up kind of run. There's no real sustain. It's just do as much damage as you can. And as you can see here, even despite having the Rainer buff here, well, actually, that's funny. Even despite having the Rainer buff here, my Marley was the one that ended up taking the most damage here. And I don't even have something like the Quick Blade or Switchblade spell here on the side, so it's not even like reduced defense or something. I ended up just taking a load of damage, and my Odie ended up getting one shot too, kind of for fun. Unfortunately, again, I think there was a bit of RNG in this case, and I'm probably not going to be able to hit these 600 mil as I wanted to, or I would have preferred to. Again, it is unfortunate, but still being able to get, or I would say, oh, wait, actually, we might be able to catch back up here. We might still be able to get the 600 mil here, but being in the sustain or trying to play to like a sustained win con does not really work too well. I actually ended up surviving and getting 605 million, which is not bad. That puts me, again, just under what my previous record was with 621 million. But point of this is that, when I'm out of runs. But the point of this is that if you aren't able to, of course, use the team composition that I showed before, an alternative that I think works pretty well is having enough DPSs or enough damage dealers that can break you out. If you don't have the Rainer, as you can see there, even though I wanted to push up my Odie to the front and I wanted the frozen target to be attacked by my Thorin, it doesn't end up mattering in some cases because, well, the honest truth is that sometimes RNG and crits and stuff will put you in different places. And so for specifically my composition, maybe I could have moved Marley into the back. Maybe I could have moved Odie from the spot, whatever it is. All of it is a bit RNG, but these were the teams that I've seen thus far that I think have been performing pretty well. Again, to be clear, if I could, I definitely use the Corrin, and I would definitely use Cassidy if I could. Just keep in mind that if you are going to be using Floribel like I did, the Cassidy doesn't make too much sense. And in that sense, if you want to use, I don't know, any of the other characters or any of the other physical DPS, feel free to do so. But just keep in mind the comboing. Maybe use a character like Kruger instead if you don't have access to a strong enough Odie, if that's something that you're interested in. However, I think a lot of free-to-plays and a lot of players in general have been investing in Maulers, so if you want to, you could also use Coco or other magic damage dealers. But I do think that Cassidy has really insane value because of her accentuation of magic damage and the fact that she's gotten a pretty sizable season buff. In any case, though, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe. This was definitely my second run, and I wasn't very happy with the first take of this video. I didn't go over Cassidy's kit quite enough, I would say, to kind of accentuate the exclusive equipment. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you did, make sure to like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe. If you've been enjoying the AFK Journey content and supporting it, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you guys have any ideas for videos that you want me to do, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching, though. I'll see you all in the next one. Good night, good afternoon, goodbye.